nhưng trong giấy trong nhiệt gì cứ tên nước trà thì ít trong phong giờ đợt đó cũng giờ bỏ lì va nhau mong Twin City News sau sự lúc nào cũng cho biết một sai nhớ trầu lên tu lúc tỷ chua xong áp phần của bé ta là nó lúc còn trồng xí sầu là giờ bé cho tu chọn xài thầu u là cái tàu ở đây ở nụ ba đầu chế common nhớ đầu tỷ thay tê sự thì bé cho sụn nó bao nhiêu sụn ban viên này sụn năm nhào sụn chiên cam thiên sụn nồng khảiเราไม่nhớ đầu lử lúc sụn nó mua bé mông nhót đầu họ đợt nó giờ party all nó giờ cho doctor phần đầu giờ nhớ đầu đợt lúc tết chuyện America nó thiên nhau một đầu lử lúc tết chờ lỡ của tàu tôi hay lù thiệt cho thì là của họ lử xong từ thế là khởi đầu mong để duy trì lý giải lại cho tôi thiệt rồi bây giờ này cho gì còn đó là tao cũng cho bây một sai đại video nó vấn đề cho bây một sai đại video nó cũng cho rồi là cho organizer và chỉ trả lúc event nó là cũng chơi phá tàu chống tù này cho doctor chỉ nhau rồi tới chuyện mấy cái nó thế nhưng mà rồi lừa chờ và là tôi hay cho lừa chắc chắn phụ rồi bây giờ để cũng cho bây một sai.
Good afternoon or good evening. How great it is that you're all here together as former staff that worked for ZOA in Ban Vanai. And I'm sure this is quite a special moment for you guys. And I don't know whether you know, but I joined ZOA as the CEO in 2017. But I worked with ZOA before. It was actually from 1993 to 1997. And in that time I worked in Nairobi, but I was in very close contact with our colleagues in Bangkok, with Dick and with Marnix. And I did hear the stories about Ban Vanai. And obviously that's a place where we worked for a very long time and impacted the lives of many, many people. And I just want to say, you know, a big thank you to all of you, because you did play a significant part in the work that ZOA did in Ban Vanai, and as such also were part of making an impact in people's lives. Now it seems that 2023 is a special year. You have your reunion, but it's also ZOA's 50th birthday. And it's a bit strange because I say to people it's not something that we celebrate, because ideally ZOA would not be needed anymore. I think ideally there would be no need for ZOA anymore, but of course we all know that the opposite is true, and there's never been as many refugees and displaced people in the world as we have today. But we are grateful to God that He has allowed us to continue the work, that He's been faithful to us, and that we have been continuing to be able to make a difference in people's lives. So from me and from the whole current ZOA team, a big thank you to all of you, and I do hope that you're going to have a wonderful afternoon and evening together. Thank you very much.
I'm Geert Vechter. I was the team coordinator of the ZOA healthcare program from 84 till 86. I was happy to be there. It was a wonderful experience, especially to meet you all and to learn about your culture, not only the culture of the Hmong but also the other tribes and the Thai people who lived over there. A very nice event now. Very nice that you have organized this all to see each other through the internet, and I hope it will be a very good day to you all. When I came back to Holland, I started to work in the IT. I worked there for about 30 years in business, and now for about 10 years I'm working as a teacher at the university in IT subjects. I wish you all the best and good luck. Bye bye.
And this is me, Geert Vechter, at the Ban Vanai Hospital playing music, and here at a graduation ceremony for medics. We still have this crossbow from Ban Vanai, a t-shirt from the Ban Vanai run, a weighing scale for opium, and a traditional knife.
en een ZOA-emblem used on uniforms of the healthcare workers.
Hello everybody, my name is Herman Spijker. I worked in Public Health Center 3. I had a very good time there, especially when I worked with other SOA employees. It was nice to go on home visit with the midwives. I was very impressed about them because they were only 15 years old and they give a lot of information about pregnancy. I work also with the medics, the puppet team, Food for the Hungry, and also I go on home visit when people leave the hospital and they need a checkup about the health or other things. It was a nice time. When I finished my work, I visited the market. I saw the many women making nice things with their hands, but also sometimes they have 3 or 4 pair of glasses. I was very impressed about that. They were working very hard. I also eat food on the market, especially sticky rice. In the Netherlands, I cook it very many times. Children like it because they can eat it with the hands and they have not to use the fork or spoon. It was very nice. I've also many times I will think about you, and when I see on Facebook you are doing very well. I'm very happy about that. And I wish you the best. Hopefully I can see you back on Facebook. Thank you. Bye bye. See you.
Dear Hmong friends, Neng Xiong. I am Wim Veuring from Enschede in Holland. What a surprise when we recently heard about the Hmong reunion and the opportunity for us to bring our warm greetings to you by this video. We were with you in Ban Vinai from 1984 up to 1987. I worked in the hospital and the TB clinic, and Grian, my wife, worked in the teaching programs for the medics. I had many good moments with you, medics and nurses. What a great job you did for your Hmong people. I remember the night calls in the hospital, sleeping in the lounge building, or in the weekends sometimes with my family in the bamboo hut behind the ward building. In the evening, I liked to go to the market, meet some people, and buy some chicken, sticky rice, and watermelon. I especially remember the beautiful moments in that night calls, the small talks I had with the medics and the nurses. But there were also sad moments. The many severe sick adults, and especially the small children in the hospital. I still hear the crying of the families leaving the hospital with the body of their relative who just died in the hospital. I remember in the quiet nights, sometimes hearing the sound of the ceremony of a shaman, so I knew that someone nearby was very sick. Dear friends, when we left Ban Vinai, I had a hard time to say goodbye to you. I was going back to my home country, leaving you behind in the camp. As you see behind me, you were with me all the 30 years that I worked in this room. When we met each other in Ban Vinai in 1984, Grian and I, we were not at home, but you also were not in your home country. Now we are at home, and I do hope so much you also feel at home in America. Grian and I, we with you all the best with your families, and God bless you. Bye.
Neng Xiong, This is Beverly Martin. It's May 22nd, 2023, and I'm recording from my farm in Kansas, which is in the middle of the United States. These are some quick slides. You may or may not remember me as this, but maybe more as a public health nurse in Center 1. I'm the one on the right. We had a scabies clinic where Doug Hulcher caught me making a child happy. I would often walk to work on the main road in the bustle of the morning, or down through on the way to the public health center, and see scenes such as this you may or may not remember. I would have lunch, I have my sticky rice and chicken and papaya or thom tam, and watch the bustle of the market. I always thought of the men in lines, like in the firefighters out on the field, or females under umbrellas, because it was always so hot, I thought. Some Dutch nurses, there's Savalor's family, who I worked with him, and there's his mom in Panatnikom, where I work. It's Vang Shua, who did get to Minnesota, and I knew him there. These are other folks that I worked with, including some at the TB clinic. This was a big day. We went to the Mekong River for a picnic. That's Alan Wright, my boyfriend at the time. And these are some of the folks that were out there. It was very memorable for many, I assume, because that was the Mekong River, and that is a big part of the Hmong story. This is my front gate, and somehow it reminds me a little bit of those colors of the Mekong. So anyway, I miss that life, and I will continue to honor and be humbled by many of the Hmong people that I grew to be friends with and worked with. So this is a shout out to you, and let you know that I haven't forgotten. I haven't forgotten that life.
Hi everybody, this is Krista calling from France, Brittany, on the western coast near the sea. As you can see, we have great weather here. This is my house. I worked in Ban Vinai in 1985-86 with the ZOA medical program. Maybe some of you remember me. I did the medic training and worked in the ward with Alice. Since then, we came back to France after working in Laos for 5 years. My son Yan was born when I was working in Ban Vinai, and my daughter just before we went to Laos. Sadly, my husband Francois passed away a few years ago. I'm retired now, but I have such warm memories of my time in Ban Vinai. So I'm so happy to make this video and say hello to you all. I'm going to stop now and then show you some photos that I kept from Ban Vinai. I hope you all have a long and happy life. And if you come to France, come and see me. Bye. Here are photos that I took when I was in Ban Vinai. Maybe some of you will recognize yourselves. They're not very good quality. In those days, the photos weren't great. So here are a few more people. That's all of us together. This, I don't know what we were doing. We were going around. And just the last few photos. Here's Alice. That's it.
And yet, there is hope. Look at all the people who did survive, who were able to make a living and were successful in connecting with others. In the mid-80s, the Hmong showed me their strength, their eagerness to learn, and how to survive. They allowed me to enter their territory physically and mentally, and I tried to capture those impressions. The film I made you can view during the reunion. The film is communicating your life and work in a healthcare setting during those years in Ban Vinai. It is my hope that your stories become more powerful when you are watching it yourselves, your parents. May God bless you all. It was a privilege to work with you in a short while. Wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Neng Xiong, my friends. How nice to be able to talk to you. And when I heard about your reunion, I felt very excited because this is a nice chance of meeting each other again after so many years. I was in Ban Vinai from 84 till 89, and since then I think we've all changed quite a bit. So I wouldn't recognize your faces anymore, and I think you wouldn't recognize me anymore when you just met me on the street. But I always remember all of your faces. When I looked up my photo books, and I felt like it was yesterday. It's also the picture I sent you with all your faces on it, and I remember all the good times, all the things we shared together. When I started in OPD, and then after I worked in Center 678, and later on I was in charge of the Under 5 program, and I just have good memories, although we also disagreed sometimes. We had disappointments also, and I know sometimes I was too much of a blunt Dutch, not aware enough of your culture, and so after all I can say maybe I learned more, or at least as much from you as you did from me. But when I look back, I always feel very blessed and thankful for having a chance to work in Ban Vinai, to have met all of you and to share all these years together. And then I was asked in a 2-minute video to share some memories I have. Now that isn't easy because 5 years of memories putting together in 2 minutes is quite difficult. But I picked up 3, and I must say the first one is I remember the Bible class. We started on working days. Some of you joined, and then we had nice discussions. I liked the time we had together. The second one is I remember the lady who used to come on a daily basis to pick up her medication because she was suffering of epileptic insults. And then many times she would bring me some sticky rice. And I always, I experienced that as a special gesture to me. And the third is, one of your names I remember is the sutureman, Neng Xiong. He one day wanted to teach me how to treat a wound, how to suture a wound. And then when I was working very hard on it, he said, "Els, when there is a war somewhere, many people are injured, arms and legs are all around, and then you are suturing up in the pace you do it now, then you will have a problem." So after that, I decided not to become a suture woman, and I just did other things. So remembering all this, I just want to say thank you and just express my joy to be able to meet each other in this way. And then I would say, when you ever have a chance to visit the Netherlands, then be welcome, be our guest, and we will have a longer talk. And for now, I will say all the best. God bless. Bye-bye.
สวัสดีครับพี่น้องชาวมงที่รักทุกท่านว่าเป็นเวลานานเหมือนกันที่เราไม่ได้พบกันและเจอกันทุกคนคงไม่รู้จักผมมากเท่าไหร่เพราะว่าผมทำงานที่ ZOA ประมาณ2 ปีครึ่งแต่ก่อนนั้นผมทำงานของ ICA แต่ทุกคนคงรู้จักผมมากกว่าที่ทำงานที่นี้ แต่ทิ้งอะไรก็ดีผมคิดถึงทุกคนผมก็ทำงานที่ในศูนย์นั้นนานเหมือนกันแล้วก็รู้จักหลายคนแล้วก็มีเพื่อนเยอะพี่น้องชาวม้งแล้วก็และดีใจมากที่ได้พูดคุยกับพี่น้องผ่านทางนี้ทางรูปนี้แล้วก็ดีใจแล้วก็ที่ทุกคนยังรู้สึกถึงคิดถึงผมทุกๆคนและผมก็คิดถึงทุกๆคนเหมือนกันถึงแม้ว่าไม่มีแคมป์ที่บ้านมินายอีกแต่เรายังคิดถึงกันคิดว่าคงจะพบกันเร็วๆนี้อีกนะสวัสดีครับ
After a very, very long time, we will meet again. And that is really happening. After 40 years, I was the RN in a TB clinic, working with Dr. Loas and many TB workers. We had a good time. Sometimes frustrating if we are going to the center and with the screening and we could not find a family, but we always had a lot of fun. Cleaning the TB clinic, playing with water, and sometimes we could go with our team to Kenkutku. It was really enjoying. Thank you for everything and stay healthy. Bye-bye.
Hello, we are Johanna and Dick de Koning. We used to be in Ban Vinai in the as a project leader for the ZOA Hospital and Public Health Care.
We were in Thailand in the year 86 till 1991. For a period I have been working in the psychiatric care in Ban Vinai, and as a present I got this beautiful embroidery book from several Hmong women who made this for me.
My memory is about the office of the hospital where Father Nia Muachu was reigning, and I had meetings with him and the other leaders. I remember that there was often confusion because of the language barrier.
Dear Ban Vinai friends, you probably don't recognize this after 40 years. This is Dr. Andre and Dr. Gwen. As a medical coordinator, I have felt very fortunate that I was able to hand out so many certificates to medics, to healthcare workers in IPD and OPD. And together we can say we were always truly amazed by your huge intelligence and your ability to study under very difficult circumstances and your true motivation to help and support the people in Ban Vinai. And we have wondered many times, how has this helped you to build your career and to build your families in USA? Has this all contributed to a better life? And in a way, it's a very good sign that you now all come together after so many years and you want to meet again and you want to share the experiences and you want to share the common life and the common experience you had in Ban Vinai. We hope to learn more from you. And for now, we wish you a very, very happy reunion. Have a great day.
After I came home from Ban Vinai to the Netherlands, my life actually never was the same again. There were so many lessons learned in working in Ban Vinai, starting with learning how people live together, the family life, being connected, and a big admiration from my side for the difficult situations you were living in, and you were able to survive. On the other hand, I learned a lot of working with an international team, together with different nationalities, different cultures. And I'm really grateful for all these lessons learned for the rest of my life. And I remember many beautiful moments, but one moment especially I would tell you more about is like that. Together with Vang Lia, I was visiting one of the psychotic patients who could not stay home. And he was living not in a community but outside. And we had to visit him. And it was sometimes we could communicate with him and sometimes we did not. And when we visited him, he was roasting a rat on a fire. But next to him, there was a very big knife. It was huge. And what I realized later is that we really never thought about safety. And anyhow, we survived. And finally, this patient could be reunited with his family again. So that is one of the moments I remember, and there are so many more. I'm really full of admiration how you caught up living in the United States and anywhere over the world. So thank you very much for all the lessons I learned from you. I'm thinking of you very regularly, the Hmong people. I even have that pandao still in my house hanging, so daily I will meet you through the pandao. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Hãy mong buồn gió tao chỉ chờ, 我是能拿都是更高，更nhỏ thân nhỏ cho cú thiêm mò, cùng muốn đêm mà cho lo to. Có mong gió tao xin, 我是能拿都是更高，更nhỏ thân nhỏ cho cú thiêm mò, cùng muốn đêm mà cho lo to.
Hello everybody. Long time that I've been in Ban Vinai, but still have good memories. Many memories of people in the camp, like the ladies making the quilts. I do remember the hospital. It was nice to be there. It was a pleasure to be there. Also with the team, working together with the Hmong workers and the Zoa workers. It was an enjoyable time. I've done some teaching. I was working with the midwives and also the family planning team, and well, I just have good memories, and I hope that all of you who left Ban Vinai and started to live in the United States, that you really found a good place. Blessings to all, and in case you do not remember my name anymore, my name is Ria.
Hi, I'm Marianne, and I was in Ban Vinai from 1985 till 1986. And I had a wonderful time over there. I was really very young, only 22 years old. But I had a good time, and I was working in the delivery room and in the children department. And the first thing I remember, it was a big surprise, because I had to do a night call, my first night call, and they told me there was a woman who had to deliver a dead baby, but she didn't do that. No, she delivered a twins, and they were both alive. So big surprise, many happiness over there. Another thing is really sad, is that I remember there was a little child, 6-7 years old, and the parents asked me to bring her home because she had to die. and I went with them and I stayed there for 1-2 hours. So it was really impressed me. The family, the children around her in the dark hut. And I realized you had a really hard time over there. So another thing I remember was funny. I was invited to come with Anna and Alice, who passed by already, to their little hut and stay there for one night. So we went to the market, bought chicken, and they do many things with the chicken to give us a safe night. And it was a good night. I didn't sleep, of course, very much, and I heard many things around me, but I realized it was a hard life for you to be there in the camp, not for one night, but many years. So that was my memories, and I still have a lot of other memories in my house. I can see them many times like this, and I brought that with me, and this one I also show many times to people to tell them about Camp Banvinay. Well, that was my story. I hope you will have a very good time with the reunion, and you will have a very good future for you, your children, and the children after. So, bye-bye, Marianne.
My name is Irene, and I worked in the Health Education Office in Banvinay from 1988 till 1990. I worked with a great team of about 15 to 20 health education workers, with Fang Chao as the wonderful leader and Cha Tao as assistant leader. Part of the work we did in the Health Education Office was coordinating all the different medical courses, such as basic health, anatomy and physiology, nursing theory, medic, dental. I always loved the graduation parties, which were a highlight after a group finished one of the courses. And naturally, speeches needed to be given at the party. The other part of our work was community health education. For instance, we made posters and went to the primary schools to teach the children about all different kinds of health topics. I remember that at times it was a difficult job because sometimes you encountered resistance. I remember the vaccination campaign when we had to vaccinate everyone in the camp because of a measles outbreak. We encountered resistance and even some anger. It was something I learned during my time in Banvinay, that we can't just teach what we Westerners think is true and important. We also have to listen to what you think is important and to learn to understand your point of view. I want to thank you for all you've done as healthcare workers and for all the things you taught me during my time in Banvinay. Thank you.
Nụ tì câu chỉ sa cháy xin dây Cú mềm rong xia có bùa bao Hay tìa cú tư yo cho có chê Cú tư yo dạy có mua lời tiêu Lơ của mua lo chỉ rơi tu Giờ vì tiếc của chúa chúa cho con nhỏ to cả so wa xia cho Trái mong của gió tao xì cho 我是能拿都是个我，个鸟团摇着古天毛，古木湾的马着老道，他个梦想都是做。
Hello, everybody. This is Nanny van Iperen. Greetings from the Netherlands, and I'm happy to join in this reunion. I have been working in Banvinay from 1990 until 1993, and I worked there as a nurse, supervising the wards, the pediatric ward, the adult ward, and the TB clinic. At the moment, I am working as a midwife. After leaving Thailand, I worked for different NGOs. I did my midwifery training, and I have my own private clinic now in Leerdam. And over the years, I have been working in Africa and in Asia, in different countries, working in development work and sharing my knowledge and my skills. I have very good memories of Banvinay. It was my first experience abroad with ZOA. And if you ask me to share one of the memories, is that one is when we cleaned the ward, everybody went outside, we put all the beds outside and we cleaned the ward with the hose from the fire department. And that always stick to my mind. Another one that stick to my mind is when the people were leaving for America, and that it always broke my heart to see the people leaving sons, daughters, mothers or fathers behind. And if I still see those pictures, it can make me emotional again. I hope all of you are doing well, wishing you all the best here from the Netherlands. As you can see, I have still memories of the camp, nice embroidery and also the flute. And you are always in my mind. May God bless you.
Dear Hmong friends, I am Egbert. I worked in the mental health program of Banvinay from February 1989 till June 1991. I was there for ZOA with the whole medical program, and beside the work I did a lot of funny things with the workers, like walking to the Banvinay mountain. We also went swimming at Leu swimming pool. I remember one situation, but of course I remember many situations, but one situation I will tell you about a man. He was chained, he couldn't walk, and he was chained because he was very upset. He was spitting to people, hitting people, screaming a lot. And when I came, he was very silent and he seemed to be afraid. I gave him some medicine by injection, and 1 week later, he could act normal again. I still have some items from Banvinay. On the background, you can see the embroidery made by one of your probably women. And still I have some other things here that is used by my family. I'm still working in the mental health as a nurse and a family therapist. I hope to hear soon from you. Bye.
Cơn gió to cả gió qua chia cho trái mong của gió tao chỉ cho
一种呢，这个的那家我做到着，那到晒蒙屯西的路考所事老少领到了。tôi cứ nói thằng cái này cho gì cho nên cho tôi chuẩn chỉ cho kiến nó cái nhau rồi cũng mà đã có tuần chỉ này rồi đầu lệ lúc xưa hở